Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monique Macrin. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you've been here before, I hope you've clicked on the notification bell. So this is February, the month of love, and I'm going to be doing an exemption and share a wedding series. Okay, so I'll be sharing my wedding series in 4 parts. That is the formal preparation, the ceremony preparation, then the lessons and things that no one told us about preparing for our wedding. And then on date 14, day 4, which is date 14, and which is Valentine's Day, we will be sharing our actual wedding video. So right into today's video, I want to share about the formal preparations, and the reason I'm sharing this is because a lot of young people like ourselves, we didn't know like the things that our culture required us to do before we could actually have our formal wedding. And so when I'm doing this video, I will be talking about the Kikuyu tribe, because me and my hubby come from the Kikuyu tribe. But I also believe like this is the we are all African, I mean, so I believe there's some sort of commonality in the way that we prepare for our wedding. So kwa Kikuyu, we have 4 main parts. The first part is meeting the parents, and then kuna this kuinvolve wazee, and then una involve wazee mara mbili. Ya kwanza inaitwa kuhanda ithege. That is where I will explain after mentioning the 4 parts, so scratch that. So the first bit is meeting the parents. The second bit is involving the elders in saying that we have taken this girl, so watu wengine wasikuja kumchukua. And the third part is the traditional ceremony, whereby you include the wazees, your friends, and the extended family. And then from there you have now to involve the religion and the state. That is in 4 parts, right? So let's start with meeting of parents. So for most people, you have to meet the male's parent first. So that is when you're dating, you know, your bae ataenda atakupeleka kwa wazazi wake, you know, mom, dad, nimewaletea mgeni leo, you know, naona atakuwa mama wa kwangu, you know, those kind of talks. So that is the first thing that you do. Well, it doesn't have to be in that exact sequence, because in our case, it happened shagarabagara, like we never followed like those sequences, and it happens for most people, like especially when you have a child out of wedlock. That means you won't like follow the sequence hivyo. So the first thing is you meet the guy's parents. The second thing is now you have to take your bae to meet your parents. So the girl takes the boy to meet her parents. Unaenda unawambia, mom, leo nawaletea mgeni. You don't say who that person is. Actually ukisema hapo, huyo kijana anaweza akapigwa fine. Like kwa Kikuyu, kijana haizi na kuongea na wazee. Actually I know of a friend of mine, she's a Meru. Ukisikia hii story ulisamehe. So what happened, walikuwa shapata mtoto, then the lady akapeleka the guy waende kwa Meru. So the guy was like, mimi ndio niko na huyu. And then wazee walikuwa, the father was like, no kijana, hatuwezi ongea na wewe, you're very young, hiyo maneno tunaongea na wazee. So when the girl takes the boy to meet her father, it's not at that point that the boy talks of his intentions. However, families are different. Some parents hawachukuli hizi traditions differently, but so you can maybe mention kidogo, this is my girlfriend, nini, but don't make it sound serious, like umeenda kujisema. Hufai kwenda kujisema, wazee ndo uenda kujisema. Okay? Yes. So the other part is kuhanda ithege. In Kikuyu, kuhanda ithege is like you go, like this is a shamba. The shamba symbolically is the lady. So you have to take a twig of a tree and you go plant on that shamba, indicating that this piece of land has been booked and it's not for sale. Okay? So that means that when you go and handa ithege, that means you've already told the parents and the people and the villagers that this girl has already been taken, and so no other person is supposed to come and ask for her hand in marriage. So kuhanda ithege, a lot of things can happen during kuhanda ithege. For instance, kwa Kikuyu kuna kitu inaitwa mwate na hareka. So mwate na hareka, that is a male goat and a female goat. So symbolically it's the guy and the boy. So the male goat and the female goat zinaletwa kuonyesha that kijana na msichana wamekuja pamoja in a union that is going to bring of spring. So kwa Kikuyu, but depending on wewe ni Mkikuyu wa wapi, kutakuwa na mwate, kutakuwa na harika, kuna pombe ya wazee. So when you're budgeting for your ivigi, you have to know that. You have to ask your parents in advance, mwate ni how much, wanakupatia approximation, harika ni how much, then there is ngoima. Ngoima lazima itolewe, ngoima, I don't really remember about ngoima. Oh yeah, there's mwate, there's harika, there's ngoima. Ngoima is a sheep ama ndio goat yenye lazima damu yake imwagwe, na hiyo damu, okay, I don't remember the story, but yeah, ngoima is a sheep that lazima ichinjwe so that damu yake imwagike kwa mchanga. So most of the times it doesn't have to happen like that. Si lazima ikuje ichinjwe there and then. So some families unaweza ileta kama pesa and then later on your father maybe atawaita one day achinje hiyo mbuzi, but lazima ichinjwe na hiyo damu imwagike kwa mchanga, kwa soil, that is. So kuna mwate, kuna harika, kuna pombe ya wazee. So you have to keep in mind ni wazee wangapi wanakuja, na kama unajua ni wazee wangapi wanakuja, you can maybe ask the lady, can ask the dad. Like in my case, I asked my dad, mna expect pesa kama ngapi hivi kwa pombe ya wazee? My dad doesn't take alcohol, but this is tradition, lazima kukuwe na hiyo pombe ya wazee. Then from there lazima kukuwe na soda za wamama. So these women, like in my case, we had outside catering, but still hata kama kuna outside catering, those mamas lazima waseme tukipika huko jikoni tulisweat sana, lazima tukunywe kitu ya kutu cool down, and that is the soda. So you have to have, like, I think I heard that you never bring sodas in odd numbers, like you can't bring 3 crates ama 5 crates, lazima ikue in even numbers. So it's either you have 2 crates of soda, 4 crates of soda, ama 6 crates of soda. You can't have odd numbers. So unaleta crates of sodas kulingana na the number of women that watakuwa invited to that EVG. Then wanawake wakishapewa soda lazima wapatiwe kitu inaitwa kifuniko, so sometimes ni pesa, unaweza wapatia pesa kidogo, waambiwe hiyo ni kifuniko ya kufungua soda. After amefungua soda lazima waitishe towel ya kupanguza hii soda itoke vumbi, unaona, cause hawezi shika hiyo chupa ya soda kama iko na vumbi. So there is the soda, there is the kifuniko, and then there is kihuri, something to wipe that bottle. So I think those are the basics wakati unaenda kuhanda ivige. Those are the most basic things, and actually in every ceremony that you're going to attend to the girls side, those are things that have to be given, I think, every other time apart from the ngoima, mwate and harika. Yes, so those are the basics. Oh, and in my case, if the girl ashapata mtoto before, there's usually a fine ambayo inaitwa kuna borimagoro, like you broke our sheep's leg when you got the lady pregnant. So it would be important for the guy to consider maybe the family inaweza itisha penalty. So in my case, my dad didn't ask for the penalty, but he did mention that in most places wanaitishangwa hiyo fine. So yeah, I thought it was important for me to tell to people my generation and younger than me that those are some of the things that are expected, so that when you're going, enda kama umejipanga. And then lazima ukwe na wazee, na wale wazee mnachagua lazima wakwe wale wazee wanajua traditions, like they must be people wenye wakienda kuongea yani wako na ile heshima. Okay, hiyo lori imepita, now I think you can hear me. So that is about kuhanda ivige. Then from kuhanda ivige there is the rorasho. So for the rorasho, kuhanda ivige mshapatiwa msichana na mshaika mark. Then the next thing is kwenda kurashia, which is the traditional wedding. So with the traditional wedding, this is where the parents gives you blessings to be one, to go build a home, procreate and fill the nation. So kwa rorasho there is also a lot of things ambazo zinakauntiwa. Oh wait, when you did the kuhanda ivige, usually there's an account, like a virtual account. I think it's called Itara, I'm not sure, or Ikombi, like there's a store that is opened, so that every little thing that you bring is brought there. So when you're coming for your rorasho, things like kina ngoima, kina mwate and harika ambazo zilikuwa zimepatiana hapo before, you don't have to give them again, zinahesabu already, ziko inside your account. So when you go for the rorasho, maybe the parents can say the amount of money that they expect, and the amount of money that is expected can be counted, like maybe bags of rice, sacks of sugar. Wow, poleni, kuna gari mingi zinapita huko nyuma. So kuna rice, bags of rice, sacks of sugar. there can be honey. I think that's about it. For the kuhanda ithege, I was allowed to get inside, so I know a lot of things ambazo zilitishwa when the negotiations were there, but for the ratio, I wasn't allowed to get inside. And up to today, I've never asked my husband kile kitu kilitishwa. So I only know that sometimes kunaweza kuwa na the sacks of sugar and the rice, and kina Mwate and Harika mostly zitakuwa kwa ile account ambayo ilifunguliwa wakati wa kuhanda ithege. But again, for a lady, you can tell your dad, okay, this is the amount of money that my hubby is going to come with, so can you try and make sure that whatever you ask is inside there? So if your parents are understanding and flexible, you can do that, because surely, like, these are not things that are supposed to make you mumie financially. You know, you're already a family, you're going to start a life. No, well, for some people you're going to start a life, for others it's a continuity. So you also don't want to, you know, exhaust, how do I put this, you also don't want to break your bank, you get? Yeah, so these are things that you can talk with your parents. The lady, you can talk with your parents in advance so that they can know your limits. Okay, so that's it about rurasho. But one thing that was interesting, oh wait, when you get late to go for the ratio, lazima mtapigwa fine. And anytime that this side of the groom side wanaingia kwa the lady side, there's a lot of songs that are exchanged, and most of the times before the gate is opened for you, lazima watoe kitu kidogo. Those women have to be bribed so that they can open the gate. Now once they get inside the gate, if you came in good time, then you're in good terms. If you are late, in our case they were late, okay, we were late, so there was a fine that was charged, and then we got inside the house. When you get inside the house, the first thing I did, I wanted to go inside my dad's house, and then one of the women who was there was like, unaenda wapi, wewe siwe huku tena, ebu go back. I didn't really like that, but then again, it's tradition, so it's symbolic. So later on I learned that this is not like a bad thing. Doesn't mean like I'll never go back to my dad's house, but that particular day is a symbol. It's a ritual by itself. It's a ceremony in its own right. So everything that is done on that particular day is symbolic. So you as the girl, you're not supposed to go inside your father's house. There's usually a tent outside there. So nikarudi kwa tent, nikaketi, we were served, we ate. Then from there, the men went inside the house, they did their negotiations. At that point, I didn't know what was going on. Then after that, at some point I was called in. Then I was asked, okay, Monica, unajua Teddy, nini, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know him. Is he the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Then I said yes, and my dad was very categorical. He was like, are you sure haujafosiwa kumuoa kwa sababu mko na watoto? Hii ni kutaka kwako? And I was like, yes, ni kutaka kwangu. And then I was like, yes, I had to make sure that I'm not just giving out my daughter. Then after that, I don't remember if the prayers came before. No, not the prayers. We were given sodas, like my dad, my mom, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, they were all given sodas. And then me, I was supposed to go and open the sodas. I was supposed to go and open the sodas that were given to my parents, my father and my mother-in-law. On the other side, my husband was supposed to go and open the sodas that were given to my father. So mimi nimeenda nimefungua chupa ya soda ya my father-in-law. For some people it's the beer, but my dad doesn't take alcohol, so it had to be sodas. So nikaenda nikafungua soda ya my father-in-law, and he blessed me. Like, you know that saying, asanti, it's symbolic. It means that amekubless, amekuitikia, so anasema asanti. Then I went, opened the soda ya my mother-in-law. After opening the cork, the bottle top, akaniambia asanti, and that meant ameniblessed na amenikubali. The same thing, my husband opened the soda ya my dad and ya my mom, and that's what about they said that was symbolic, like umeshapata baraka za kwanza, I think something like that. Then from there we were told to kneel down. Me and my husband and my dad prayed for us. He blessed our union, and he said that he has released me. He has nothing again, not really nothing against me, but he was like, okay, fine, nimekupea ruhusa, enda jenga kwako na nimekubariki, nimebariki everything that you do. I've blessed your investments, I've blessed everything. And it was at that moment that, ladies and gentlemen, that I felt that I was a woman who belonged to Mr. Teddy Boshina. Like, before then, we've lived together for so many years, yeah, but you know, you respect him, you're committed, but there's that beat that I never used to feel that on that particular day when we were kneeling down and my father prayed for us and blessed us and released me. I felt some different kind of, like, wow, now I'm Monique, I'm someone's wife and I have our own home, like my home to build, to, it just felt different. That was the first time that I felt really, really married. And not in a bad way, not in like a slavery. No, it just felt responsible. So that was during the Rorashio bit. And the Rorashio bit we did it near, like close to the wedding date. Kwenda kutembea kwa wazazi, we did it kitambo sana when I was still pregnant. We did it after I gave birth to my daughter, but the Rorashio, this was just recent. So after the Rorashio, I think after you're prayed for, I really can't remember a lot of things that happened after that, but those were the main things. Yeah, opening the bottles, kuulizwa kama umemuitikia kwa roho moja na hujafosiwa na mtu, and then kubarikiwa na wazazi. Then after that, songs were sung. Oh, and then everyone had to go around you, pray for you as they were singing. Yeah, that also happened. And then after that, we were told to go back home because in-laws can never spend a night at the in-laws. So when you're planning to go for Rorashio, make sure you leave in good time, because ata mchelewe aje, you are not supposed to sleep at your in-laws. In Kikuyu wanasema odhoni doraragwo, something like that. Odhoni doraragwo. So you can never sleep at your in-laws. So make sure you manage your time really well. So after that, and then I was told, sasa hapa, like I was told by the people there that kwetu naenda kutembe, it's no longer my home. I have now gone. I am going to build my own home, but I'm always welcome to go and visit my parents, but as a visitor. And then at that point, you are reminded that now you have two parents, your parent and those other parents, and you have to take care of both of them equally without disregard, mapendeleo. So that's it about the Rorashio. There's a lot of things that happen. That is the bit that I can remember and the bit that I felt like was important for me to share. Then the other preparation was, talking to your pastor, because ours was a church wedding, but it took place in a garden setup, but still it was a church wedding. So you have to book dates with your church, and mine was done by the ACK church. So if you're doing the ACK church, you just can't go and book a date. You have to book a date. There are forms that have to be filled and they're taken up to the diocese level. So it's a whole process. So when you're planning to do that, you have to make sure that you do it in good time. Unaona? Because it's a whole process. Like it's this pastor, kutafutiwa siku, then having to take it all the way to the diocese level, isainiwe, then it's back, you're given a date and you're given a go ahead, after which lazima church will announce 3 times. They have to make 3 announcements. So the church ambayo ilitushikanisha was from my hubby's side. So we never used to attend the services there, but the announcements were made kwa every church in that diocese. Like on this date kutakuwa na wedding ya Monica na Teddy. Kama kuna mtu ambaye akona reason why this wedding should not happen, it's your time to speak up. So that was done for 3 consecutive Sundays. After that, well, not really after that, but that is one bit in the formal preparation. Then from the pastors, the religion bit, there is the state requirements. So when you go to the AG, you have to have your original certificates. I think birth certificates. I'm not sure about the birth certificate. And then, yeah, you have to go to the AG because you need to register it's called a notice. Yeah. Oh, unaona the same way, marriage lazima announce, wedding lazima announce kwa churches. Now the same thing, the state lazima announce your wedding. Sijui inafanywa na chief ama inafanywa wapi, but it's a notice that has to be done by the Attorney General's office, na announce to the members of public that on this particular date there is going to be a wedding. So that notice usually pinned to the several boards kwa hizi offices za serikali, I think kwa chief na wapi, and it's done I think for 14 days. So now once again, when you're planning for your wedding, you have to keep in mind that you have to wait for that notice to lapse before tampatiwe a date for the interview, because uko kwa AG you also have to go for an interview. So the first thing is you have to register your wedding. You have to have your original identifying documents. Now I feel like going to the AG is a whole story. My goodness, like we not really missed, but we were running short of time because we didn't know the many things that you're supposed to do at the AGs and things that were required of us. So I feel like I need to make this video. I need to make a video about how to get your marriage certificate, because as much as this was going to be a church wedding, pale mkishamalizana na pastor, now it's up to you to go to the AGs, do your registrations, go for the state interview there, then you're given your marriage certificate, you go take it to the pastor. So that's how it happened in our case. I don't know about other people, but honestly I didn't know that we needed to go through the AGs. Yeah, and that's the end of our video. I think I've tried to explain. So for anyone who is planning a wedding and you don't have people who have done a wedding before you, like in our case, none of our friends have done a wedding. I'm the second born in my family, and my sister bado hajafanya wedding, my elder sister, my cousins. So like we are basically a young family at Ogoko extended. So we didn't have anyone to tell us a lot of these things, but my uncle, my maternal uncle played a great role in letting me know the things that were required. And by the way, when you're inviting people who are supposed to come to your rurashio, the maternal uncle is very, very important. Like, it's like he makes all the decisions, because unaona kama in my set kulitisha mwate harika na ngoima, those are things like lazima mama kwa kwa melipo hizo vitu, ndo lipo hizo vitu. And the person who can know that is either your grandfather ama your maternal uncle, but it is your maternal uncle who comes and says, okay, msichana wetu aliletwa hiki na hiki, kwa hivyo hiki na hiki ndo kitapelekewa Monica. Unaona? So even my daughter, when wakati atakuwa anaenda kulipwa bride price, the things ambazo zilitolewa kwangu ndio zitaenda kutolewa kwa my daughter. Hizo zingine pesa za kuongea juu, those are just decorations. But the most important things was zinapasiwa across generations. Zile vitu zilitolewa ndo ambazo mamangu alitolewa, ndo shoshi yangu alitolewa, ndio maito yangu alitolewa. So you understand why it's very important to have your maternal uncle hapo karibu kwa karibu. If you have any questions, ask hapo kwa comment section. Either I can make a video on Instagram to address those questions, or I can answer you hapo chini. Yeah, so that's the end of today's video, and thank you for staying tuned. Tomorrow we are going to do about the ceremony celebration preparations, how you go to shop for a gown, nguo za wasimamizi, decor, wedding planner, grounds, and all those kind of things. That is what you're going to do tomorrow. So guys, I enjoyed making this video, and subscribe. Bye.